All right, all you devils out there, happy Friday. Of course, if it's Friday, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin here on the 17th of April. Yeah, we're just, we'll get here in just a sec. Just real quick, I got to do these here. So we've got 11 days now left in this contest we're going. A lot of people are participating, so I'm doing it here again on a Friday because I know we have some that only join us on Fridays to catch a Bitcoin update. Just a reminder, very simple to enter this, right? The link will be directly below the video. It'll say membership giveaway. You can use either your email address or your Twitter handle. And then to increase your odds of winning, it's simply performing some tasks. And the app will guide you right through this. So tasks would be subscribe to our YouTube channel, retweet something from our Twitter feed, follow a couple of my senseis, Sensei Hove, Sensei Tudum, very active on Twitter. That'll be worthwhile to follow them just for that alone. Each one of those tasks gets you different points. Then the big one here is to come over and come to our website here. Again, that link also directly underneath the video in the description. You can just join the free membership here. Right? And I don't want to discourage you from a paid membership if that's what you're interested in. But if you're looking for points and you want to play this game here to try and win, first prize being 3 months of an educational membership, well, here's a quick way to get some points. Of course, this will take you to our website, and then there's a little step-by-step to drop you into the Discord. We'll greet you in there. Again, there's no commitment, there's no credit cards. Now, we're not going to spam you, but we are going to keep you abreast of your status within this. So let me give you an example. So here's an email. I'm going to hide who this is from. This guy just had a couple of questions, but it kind of shows you. So you can see how many actions and their entries that we have. So this guy's well in the lead. He's got this Brian. Oh, of course, we're blocking the name here. But he's in the lead based on the actions, so you can see the point total that he's got. And then additionally, we're going to offer you a little content here. So here's a pitchfork training video that I did. It's older, but nothing changes, right? So just some good value there for you as well. Again, we're not going to spam you. Right? We're just going to keep you abreast of the standings here and then offer a little education as well. So all that said, there you go. All right, 11 days to go. Again, very easy, no obligation. So just an easy way to participate if any of these look like they're of interest to you. Okay, with that said, I think that's everything I needed to cover. Okay, let's go over to, let me find a Bitcoin chart. Okay, so here, just kind of quick recap. All right, so while there are many that will differ, I'm just simplifying here because you can complicate the hell out of this. I think that you can just look at this as a big three, right? Big A, B, down for the C. Internal, so still internal to this pivot. So I'm trading this, or my interpretation, right, until invalidated, is that this is a 1 up. We've got a 3 down into a very deep 2. But now pushing off of that, we're kind of going sideways. So if you look here at this cluster now that we're stuck in, really, it looks to me like if I just, if I just grab, if I can get it to work here, I'm trying to grab these pivot lows here. I'm just going to include these lows here. So you see I'm pulling this pivot low and this low, kind of going, all right, well, here's structure, and you can see that's framing the market just perfectly. Excuse me. So this range here, just looking left, right, always good, right? Look left, see what is their structure, and that seems to be what we're stuck in. So as to whether or not you keep that on your chart or not, right? You can always hide it, but I'm going to take it off here just to clear up the chart. So with that said, now, this is a bit of a cluster. Very, very hard to have a high degree of confidence in this, but it's very technical, which I'm going to show you here in a second. Many of you members will likely have already done this. But that said, so there's a 1 hour here. Let me pop this up a little bit. Okay, so this is very much open to interpretation, right? Elliottians are going to differ on what's here because there's nothing that you can really lean into with a high degree of conviction, although there is all sorts of technical trading in here. When I walk you through this here, there should be zero doubt in your mind as to what I like to call it the DNA of the market, right? We'll get there in a second. So this is the more bullish interpretation, right? Everybody here watching this video knows I'm a huge bull of Bitcoin. So you can interpret this as a 1-2. You could then, pardon me, so sorry. So sorry, guys. I really suffer from allergies here. So you have the potential now to go from this low. So I can get here into a 1, 2, I get an impulse here, 3, 4, 5. So I get a completed impulse right here off of that. Now, as a bull, my first thought is, well, that's likely not going to be my 3. So even if I just look at it here and I think, okay, 1, 2, could it be? Well, now, see, if that were the case, well, already I've overlapped the 1, so now I'm thinking I've got to lean into a diagonal here. So this could be interpreted a couple of different ways. So you could think of this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, completing this. So being less bullish as opposed to the 1, 2, 1, 2, which I'm reading. So that would be an alternate, that this was just a diagonal that completed here. But then you have a very shallow 2, right? It's not unheard of. From that 2, we get a diagonal here. So this, oh shit, where are you? Here. So from this here, I can get a diagonal. We get the slight overlap here, so it's got to be traded as a diagonal. So it would be an expanding diagonal. So it plays for purists, right? We want to see 3's longer than 1, 5's longer than 3. So I've got a contender here for a leading diagonal into a 1 wave. So it can't be finishing here. We can't finish with an expanding diagonal here. We'd have to have a contracting diagonal, which we don't get. So it would lead you into thinking, oh, one possibility here is I've gone 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Very bullish, obviously, right? So that would be extremely bullish. Now, again, this, I promise you, this is the kind of count where 10 Elliottician is going to give you 10 different counts on this. And that's, people go, well, that's the problem with Elliott Wave. Well, not so fast, right? Because it's leading us into decisions and risk management decisions based on probability events. So that's always the knock on Elliott Wave, right? So show me two traders that see the market exactly the same all the time, right? Come on, right? No two traders are going to see everything the same all the time. So, but per the Elliott rule set, either one of these counts is valid. There's no invalidation here. So can I simplify it? Well, from my view, I think with this trades better as a 1, A, B, C into the 2. So this being my 1, I got to pay attention to that. All right, so that being the 1. So if that's 1, 2, well, here again, this would be problematic here if I'm trying to play this as an impulse. So if this is 1, 2, well, I get a clean impulse here. So it's either the 3, right? But I don't. If it were an impulse, pardon me. If I was trading this as a 1, 2, and then this was the impulsive 3, well, I don't want to overlap here, right? So the impulse here is a problem because the impulse into the 3rd here is clear as a bell. The ABC here, yeah, we truncate the C. Yeah, it's not perfect. We've got quite the spike wick here. So you're kind of stuck with that as the 4 relative to this 1, and then I finish with another impulse. So the count here is, this is very valid here to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what have I just done there? Well, again, I'm inclined to think because it's an impulse, it's not 1, 2, 3, which would, by process of elimination, leaves you into 1, 2. Well, if that's a 1, 2, that's a shallow 2. All right, it's not that they don't happen. We don't make the 50. We get between the 38 and the 50. Now that's approximately 12% of wave 2s that do not make the 50. That's still 12%. You do have the secondary little kicker here. We get this wick breaks it. Here we get to the 65, but look, right? So we just got it. Right now, that's where we roll over. So it makes you think, okay, well, maybe they use the 707, right? You never know. When you see a little wick like that, it's hard to make sense of it. It could be that, again, this is not exactly, this information is readily available. So perhaps recalibration, you don't know, right? But that tells me that an algorithm took it, hit the target, and then look at the reaction. That's how we know it's an algorithm. It's not this, it's this. That's how you know it's an algorithm. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, ABC into the 2. All right, remember, an algo is not tracking an Elliott count. That's us trying to figure out what they've done. So you could also look at it this way, right? Since we essentially get a double top here, well, here's 50, right? Is it a front run here? Could be. Could be. That's a little far for a front run, but, again, we're always trying to make our best. We don't know what the algorithms are doing. We're just looking for their footprints. So because I got that reaction there, I'm inclined to think that we completed something here. And then in this case, as would relate to where we are, we've got this diagonal because of the slight overlap here. So it has to be 1, 2, A, B, C, A, B, C into the 4, A, B, and I can get 5 here to get my 5 to give me a 1. So the alternate here is that from this low, I've got a 1. All right, so here I've got kind of a funky A, B, I got a short C, which makes me a little suspect of it, but look, we've already gone past the B, so we'll look at this a little bit. The Elliott count here is elusive, as is so often the case with Bitcoin. It's, but it's always, right, so keep in mind, right, this is always just a snapshot in time. It's a moment in time. We can interpret this here as a moment in time that's creating probability events. So if any of these are going to realize, what can we see here? That nothing has realized except for the possibility that this has completed, that this 5 has completed. All right, we can get this here, that this contender is done. So this one, pardon me, sorry, I've got so many 1, 2s. This 1, 2 leads into this 1, 2. So the last impulse that we can look at here, pardon me, from this low, not an impulse, diagonal, 1, 2. Now, one of these has got to kick out of here. Right, at the larger degree, for any of this to have any validity, one of these has got to kick, and we got to get a good 3. Now we did get the 1618 here, so it's not like they aren't happening. Right, we got this one here. All right. Oh shit. Oh, pardon me. This is the internal one. All right, so let me get it right this way. Oh, Jesus, so many of them I lose track. Okay, so it was this one. 1, 2. All right, here's the high probability zone. That's what I was looking at. Okay, so 1, 2, right where you're expecting the 3, A, B, C, down for the 4. We don't overlap this one, so that's why I lean into this as an impulse, and then I finish with an impulse to give me the 5 of this 1. So that's what I was trying to draw before, is that the contender is that this is a completed 1 here off of this degree. I know, shit, I'm probably complicating this. 1, 2, right? That's not the 3. Right, so what does that leave? Right, I've got a leading diagonal here, right? So can't be the 5, right? So it can't be the 5 at this degree because I have to have a contracting diagonal, right? I've got an expanding diagonal, so that leaves only a 1, 2. Process of elimination. That's all I'm doing here. Now, can this all be invalidated and the whole thing just goes to shit and down we go? Of course, right? I'm not saying that's not going to happen. I'm just saying right now, if you're looking at where's the bias, where can I trade this? How can I trade this? Well, there are those that are going to say, oh, fuck that Elliott, what a pain in the ass, right? I get that, but at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Is it helping you in your analysis? If it's not helping you, fuck it, right? You don't have to have it. And let me show you what I mean by that. It's not like this is what happens with so many, excuse me, of my members. They come in and they spend all their time trying to master Elliott Wave, saying, oh, that's it, right? Once I learn the Elliott, I got it, right? Then I'm going to start making money. That's never what I'm saying here. It's never what I'm saying. Elliott is third. Now here, I'm using this to kind of guide my decisions. But in terms of, do you need to be a master Elliottician to trade this? No, absolutely not. All right, so let's just go through that a little bit. I'm gonna pull this off here just to show you that this is all you need. Right? That's all you need right there. Right? This is the DNA of the market. Right? This is how it moves. This is the algorithm that defines where we go next, where we retrace. I know. You say, okay, well, why don't you just prove that to me? Okay, so let's go from this low to this 2. All right, so let's just look through as we go through here. Now, members, God, I hope you've already done this. Right? This would be more for those that are still trying to figure this out and like, yeah, okay, you've shown me, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 times, but I'm going to needs to see some more proof here in Bitcoin. All right, let's take a look at it. All right, so as we come here, right, swing up. 50 to the tick. Now here's the first reaction at the first target. Second, now this just blows, keeps going. We end up with an impulse. That's the one, remember, right? This is the one that just went to the 1618, 175 window, right? We went right to it. So even though it's blowing here, the entry here off of the 50 is what you're trading off of, right? Here at the 50, so if you're thinking, oh, 1, 2, or is that 1, 2, could be interpreted either way. Well, swing up, I can get 5 into that first one. I come to the 50, boom. right? So I know I've got an algo behind me here. That's the benefit. So does the Elliott help here? Well, it would influence my thinking, because if that's 1, 2, I'm looking for an impulse. And what do I get? It's exactly what I get. Not only do I get an impulse, it goes to exactly where I'm anticipating that it would go and stop. Okay, right, so the Elliott perhaps helpful there. All right, so what do I got? So I got a 1, 2, I'm into a 3, and okay, A, B, C, is that great? Well, not great, but is it technical? Well, let's look here. Swing down, swing low, I get this big spike wick here, come back, well, slight front run. Let me get this off so it doesn't confuse you. All right, down, swing, a couple of ticks in front of the golden zone, down, gets denied. Why? Why is it denied there? Right, why don't we make this target? Because here's the golden zone. He's like, hey, Sam, man, there's a golden zone. Why aren't we getting there? Don't forget, there's always an algo on the other side. It's always a battle between both sides. You don't know who's going to win, but the Elliott can guide that decision making as to who's more probable to win. So if I pull from the low here, come here. If I go from my 2, I just completed that impulse. If I go from the lower low, well, here's a 50. If I go from the internal 2, get right on that, I get a 1 tick break here. Oh, it's so close, right? Hard to know, right? Again, is that what holds it, right? So you've got one guy pushing for this, the other guy pushing for this, or remember, algo doesn't care that that's a 2 to a 4. It's just using the dominant pivots. Is that what holds it? Well, it's interesting because if we go here, if I go to this tick, I get the couple of tick break here, but look I'm to the tick on the target, which again, I lean into the idea that while I can't explain that as to why it doesn't invalidate that pull, this tells me they stayed with it. Like maybe they use the 707, right? It's hard to know, right? This is not a secret anymore, right? People that I don't know, that don't follow, I see this all over. I see this 61865 all over crypto Twitter. People that don't follow me, somehow this has become part of the lexicon. So is it possible they've recalibrated? I'm not saying I've influenced the guys, the people behind these algos, but it's a possibility, right? Again, we're never going to know what they've done, but the fact that I tick the target here and then I get my reaction tells me that was an algorithm taking profit here, most likely, right? So again, it's not like I sat down and had a beer with the guy who wrote that software. I can just look at it and go, oh, okay, right? The most probable, that's what happened there. Well, now look here, I'm on the 1 hour. Let's just look at this once we start going up. You tell me if you think this is beyond a reasonable doubt. All right, let's start with the first. So we're down here. We think we've got a 2, and we're going up here. Let's just start with this one. So what do I do here? All right, so swing low, up. Looks like I'm 3 down, a couple of ticks in front of the golden zone. All right, so here I go. Is that a front run on the target? Hard to say. Again, same thing, right? So we get the wick through the second, but ultimately we get 3rd here. But here's the... All right, could have been either way. Here they get it. You get a little reaction, but it has more legs. Right? So now you're thinking, oh, 1, 2, maybe I've got a 3 here. Well, I don't quite make the 1, 6, 1, 8. So I'd be thinking, okay, well, what is likely happening there? How far do I get? I'm kind of in no man's land there. So it tells me it's related to something else. We'll come back to that. Sorry, guys. So 1, 2, A, B, C, because I'm stuck. Remember, I get the overlap. Do you see it right here? Here's the overlap of the 1. So I've got to trade this as a diagonal. 1, 2, golden zone, rips all the way to 3rd target. Well, let's just keep going. So now I come up here. All right, so where am I thinking that's going to stop? So A, B, come down here, golden zone. Now, it works from the golden zone here, right? 1 tick in front of the golden zone. Again, front run. Hard to say. I'd be looking for something that would have prevented that from above. But this is very tradable. It could be a front run. Could be. Well, then I'd be looking for, what else could be there? Because it's a diagonal, I'd look for the start of 1 through the pivot of 3. I'd check for the 4. What do I got there? Now I've got a 618. So this more common in a diagonal for the 5 if it's not going to get to the 100, to front run the 618 relative to the length of the 1 through the 3 from the projected 4. Boom, a couple ticks off the 618. Okay, that makes sense to me. So I can see, all right, I've got a contender here. Is there anything else I've got? Well, let's just look here. So I start to come down. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I'm going to want to check that. So first, just looking at this. Well, here, we'll take that one off. So something happened here. Why doesn't it just keep going up? All right, so if I look at this, Right, here's a 50. You might have been thinking, oh, we're off to the moon. Why does it stop there? From the pivot, what do we run into? Right, golden zone. Right, gets a couple of ticks in. From that golden zone, target, reaction. So you look here and you go, huh, reaction, we go back 50 to the tick. Right, you see that? So I'm just taking that swing. So here's my completed, I've got a contender. It's ugly so here's a leading diagonal, right? We overlap the 1, so I've got a leading diagonal into my A wave. So it's either an A or a 1. Well, since I think I've got a 1 here that's completed, it has finished, and I've got a 1, 2, and then I've got yet another 1, another leading diagonal. All right, so it can be a 1. This can be an A or a 1. Right, bears are all over that as a 1. I'm thinking it's correcting. So we come back here. Here's 50. Why doesn't it get to target? Why? Because, hey, Sam, man, we went from the 50. Why aren't we getting there? And look what's happened here. All right, so even if I use this pivot, we're to and through. Why doesn't it get there? I'm pretty sure you know why. Do you see that? Let me get right on it. Remember, there's always an algo on the other side. Why doesn't it get there? That's why. Which lets you lean into the idea that I've got a contender here for a 2. So A, B, I know that's a shitty C, but it's a 5. I got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My point being, every one of these pivots, damn near every one of these pivots is tied to this algorithm, right? Almost every one. And the ones that go through play into an Elliott context. So where's the next trade? So the last thing that we can see that this algorithm did, we went from dominant here to dominant high. We went down golden zone. So what's the next trade? Well, where are we in the count? So is the count helpful here? So again, I'm seeing this as I've completed something here. Something is completed, so possibility here as an alternate. If this is 1, 2, well, that's not 3, so that leaves this diagonal as a 1 into the 2, golden zone, just where I'm looking for it, and I get my reaction. And remember, there's always an algo on the other side, but I've broken through this side, so it's bull's ball. Bulls are in control here. You've broken the sell side algo at this degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure looks like I can get started on a 1 there. Right, it's not going to. That's just going to potentially now just the 1 of the 3 at this degree. Lots of right. If that's going to get a 3, that's where we're looking for that big 3. So we'd be looking for this 1, 2, 3, and that's the 3 at this degree. Right, that's the green one, not the blue one, and not the big white one. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, maybe. But here's awfully good evidence. So the next trade, since you've broken the sell side, is on the buy side. So from here to here to here, if this cooperates, and look at that nice big fat zone you've got there for that, right? So you've got the point of control, right? Well, you could fatten this up, right? We could go back to our standard. We'd have the 786, so you could use the 786 if this is going to go 1, 2. But of course, you'd prefer it to pivot at the golden zone because then you get an algo with you. 1, 2, right? I'd be looking anywhere in that zone right there with the point of control. You got a lot of things. Again, that's you got to zoom in here to really appreciate that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, we're just getting started on this. So let's get this really tightened up. This is structure from that prior 1, so you don't need to go that far. You could hold this. I mean, you could be 2, 3 ticks underneath it right here, looking for the idea that this has gone 1 and you're looking for some sort of 2 to get you out of here. Very tradable. Very tradable. Right? And if let's get this right on there. Right? And if you get into the golden zone, you got a potential golden corner would be setting up. Right? It's always just potential. But that would set this up rather nicely as a 1, 2 going for, well, here we could do it. Well, that would be, here would be 3, 4, 5. All right, that would get you out of this as this is the 2, 1, there's the 2, there's the golden corner right to the, right, and you guys know this, right, that if right now, big if here, If we get that there, here's our high probability zone, right? Here's our 1618, 175, which is, that's what we use that red line, the 100%, right? Now that's just all speculation, right? I don't have these pivots. I do not have these, but if I'm laying out a roadmap, that starts to look pretty good. So we'll go micro here. So 1, 2, 3, that's what I'd be looking for. If this cooperates and we get a nice little 3 to dovetail right into our buy zone, off we go, 3, 4. Now you know where you are in the count. Now you're thinking, okay, well, so here I've got a 1, 2 into a golden zone. If I get it again, right, big, now emphasis, right? If I get it again, we don't know. Don't know what that's going to look like. This could certainly just unload over the weekend. We never know. But is that tradable? Wait, show me the trade that you know where it's going to go. Right? As soon as you've got that one, I'd love to see it, that you know. Nobody knows. Right? It's all just probabilities. Right? I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't know that it's going to do that. But here's what I do know. If it does this and goes here, I know I got an algorithm involved. That I know. I know from here, software bought it. I'm not to that target yet. Here's the target. Right? From this golden zone, they're trying to get right here. Well, look where we're trying to get with an Elliott count. Right? Again, I don't have the 2, so that's it's a guesstimate as to where that's going. But look how those line up. Look at that little cluster up there. And oh, don't forget the median line. Right? If this holds, right? It's always if it holds 80% that we get there. Pretty good, right? Bitcoin loves the golden zone, but it's very technical in here. Doesn't make it easy. This is not easy trading, right? Essentially, we're just kind of sideways. But is it tradable? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? These are all just kind of little punchy singles, a few doubles in here, but these aren't big monster swings. You got to take what the market gives you here. Right now, it's not giving a lot. We've got just essentially this choppiness that could easily, right? A bear is going to look at this and say, okay, well, it was all just the precursor to all of this went up here. We completed something, and now we're just about to roll over, right? And we're going down. We're blowing through those lows. We're going to 1800. I don't know why people want that to happen, but I suppose it's so that they can buy it down there. Right? To each his own, right? I do not think that's what's going to happen, but all right, this is I've try to emphasize, I'm not here to tell you I know what's going to happen or that this is easy trading or that this is inevitable. I'm just giving you my thoughts, my opinion, right? And what I'm trying to demonstrate to those either watching on YouTube or members here is the consistency of the approach, right? You'll note that it's always the same, right? That's the value, right? Take my word for it or not. I've been doing this a long time, and ultimately landing on these 3 components: the geometry, the fib relationships, and the Elliott wave when it's useful. I think you'll be well served here if you spend the time and invest the energy and the time to learn how to trade this way. If I didn't think that, I wouldn't be here talking to you. Okay, guys, there you go. Whoa, went 30 minutes. Okay, I think we got everything covered there. This will be interesting to see how we resolve. It's just one of these is going to need to kick to get us out of here, this range. All right, there you go, guys. All right, have a good weekend. Talk to you later. Good luck in that little contest here. Don't forget to get entered. Okay, guys, talk to you later.